Hey folks, Inclusive Mall Designs here, and this is an inbox review of the Tamiya 1350 scale Prince of Wales. Now, you probably heard her name before. She was famous for bringing Churchill to Canada. No, that's not it. She was famous for being in that famous battle with Bismarck. She sailed next to Hood and actually landed a few hits on Bismarck herself. But that's not what the box art shows. She actually shows her and Repulse together. And sadly, both they were sank by bombers and sank in Malaya. And that's what the box art shows. But that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to actually talk about the model itself. You want to know a little bit of history. The instruction shows that history a little bit, anyway, briefly in the instructions. And I'm not going to bore you with that. But the good instruction book, as always, to me, it does a pretty good job with showing the instructions. So I'm not going to bore you with that. And they actually give you a decal sheet for the first time, actually, that I've seen, other than maybe the Yamato and the Missouri, for a kit that's been on the market for a while. They actually give you a nice decal sheet. So you got nice flags, and you actually have decals for planes. So that's pretty decent for Tamiya. So there you go. So let's just get right into the parts here. No particular order. Now, I've already gone ahead and drilled out the portholes like I sometimes do. So you can see the holes. For the most part, some portholes aren't drilled just because there might be a part on the inside that you can't really drill. But very crisp on the details. This one's going to be a fun one to build too. I really like building ships. Like I said, every time you build a compartment, it seems like you're actually building a part of the ship. It seems like you're actually seeing progress on each step. Some models you build and it doesn't seem like you're making much progress. As with ships, you are. See, with this set here, you're actually building some Japanese planes if you desire to. So that's kind of cool. And there's some of the little lifeboat things. So I have some aftermarket detail sets that you can actually build those up if you don't like using the kit parts. And there's the walrus planes, the British planes for your right there. So that's optional if you want to build the Japanese planes. It's a nice addition. If you want to build like that battle, or like, because that's what that paint scheme is, or if you want to, backdate the ship to the battle with Hood there. And there's your nameplates. Sadly, air power pretty much put the kibosh on the battleships. I think the Japanese were definitely paying attention when Billy Mitchell there proved that air power was going to take over. As you can see, I got the porthole all drilled out. You don't have to do that. That's just what I like to do. So you can see the nice detail. I had this the hull right beside Hood, and Hood's still bigger. Once we get all these ships put together, I mean, the guns aren't as obviously big as Hood. Actually, this would be like comparable to Hood's main armament. And after this video here, stand by, because I will have an aftermarket special on Prince of Wales. And this is where the aftermarket stuff is going to come into play, is this right here, I think is no good. Having these cranes and then having all this plastic, I don't like that at all. I'm going to show you the box art. See what I mean? Like, this should be just like that. You know, see how you can see right through it? No way. I don't like, you know, all that plastic junk in there. Nope. Having the photo etch sets and stuff where, you know, you're going to have that part, you know, like that. Yeah. See, it should be like that, right? So if they can do a part like that, why can't they do cranes, right? I'm not a fan of that. This would be a carbon copy of that last sprue. So you got some nice lifeboats and such, and then some AA guns that I have to be really gentle with. I can see if you're not gentle with those, you're going to break those off right quickly. And then we're moving on. And these are a couple pieces here that just kind of came off when I was drilling. Nothing broken though. And then the dick. And that again, I'll just be sanding those off and adding real chain. I'll probably drill down into there, all of those out, and then just run the chain down. Add a little bit more realism. And of course I got the wooden deck and stuff to go over top. Especially with a ship like this, I'm going to add all the deck in. You know, this is where the wooden deck, this is where I like, you know, not to make it sound like I'm a lazy modeler, but can you imagine masking off all that and then trying to paint? I mean, holy. You know, that wooden deck will just cover it and then all that will be left out. Perfect. Plus, I just don't think paint is, you know, a good substitute to mimic the wood. And then, again, I'm not a fan of these. I mean, I know that's what they had for the time, but I'm just not a fan of these stands. I really like the ones, like if you've watched the Yamato and Missouri builds, I like those stands where you can actually screw to the bottom of the hull. Speaking of the hull, and it's the last piece, that's usually the first thing I start work on. It's kind of hard to get into the shot. See, it's not too big, actually. It's wide, but it's not overly large. I'm going to try and get the whole thing in the shot here. It's a bit of sanding to do, but it's not a huge ship. It's just kind of wide, and I mean, basically it's just you know, a boat built around guns. I mean, that's pretty much the idea of it, right? So there we go. It's just a quick video just kind of showing you what's inside the box. So stay tuned for the aftermarket special on what you can add to the Prince of Wales. Obviously, it does have a few sister ships out there. I know the King George, and it might have a few others. Don't quote me on it. I'm not familiar with all of the ships, but I do know it does have a few more sister ships out there. I don't know if they're carbon copies of each other, but there we go. That's what's inside the box for Prince of Wales, and stay tuned for the aftermarket special. Thanks so much, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe.